Ms. Day for getting the flowers for her, and it was a very nice thank you card. She was appreciated the card and the flowers. I also attended the Miami Fort Safety Day, and at the recommendation of Lieutenant Downing, I got a barbecue pork parfait, and good job on that recommendation. I would like to propose the hire of Ms. Carrie Robers as our new event rental manager, pending passing the drug screening and background checks. Ms. Robers has 16 years of management. She was the manager and general manager at Receptions Banquet Halls. I think she was also at Dearborn County Country Club. Brings a number of fresh new ideas and proposals on how we can maximize our rental spaces at the community center, at the town hall, and potentially even our park shelters in the future. If we can hire her, she's available to start on June the 27th. I want to thank Ms. Day also for picking up the slack in between. Miss City Black retired a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and I asked her how many rentals or contracts she's done in the time being, and I think it was 15, 17, something like that. And so we need to keep the operation afloat, and so it's great when people step up and fill the holes when need be. So thank you to you and for doing that. And this is a critical hire in my opinion. I think that, again, I'm excited about the experience and background that she brings. Mr. Reed and I both interviewed several good candidates, as was stated before. Frankly, we could not go wrong with any of the candidates that we interviewed, and even a couple that we didn't interview were pretty stellar on paper. So I'd consider several of them for other positions in the future if the opportunity presented itself. But I'm so moving for the hire of Ms. Carrie Ropers.
Make a motion.
Yes.
I'll second. Cindy? Cindy, you there?
Sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Reiniger?
I will abstain because we never did see any of the resumes from any of the candidates.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robison?
Yes.
Robison, sorry.
It's all right. I was told by Mr. Beck previously that he would just make a recommendation right at the meeting, and so if I did something that's outside of regular protocol, let me know. Okay, next I asked Ms. Day to, I prepared the resolution, but asked her to put it on letterhead. I'm going to ask the board to pass resolution 22.-06 as a resolution authorizing Administrator Dan Reed to enter into the natural gas aggregation agreement. This is at the recommendation of Energy Alliance. We've had multiple conversations about this over the last couple months, and again, it is normal protocol with townships like ours, and almost all of them have administrators, for the administrator to actually be the one that executes the agreement. It would be, he would consult with me briefly as a liaison to the board to just say, yep, that sounds good, that's in line with what we've indicated to him, and then he would actually execute it. So I'm going to pass this, I'm going to sign it and pass it down, but I'm going to ask the board to pass this resolution.
Make your motion.
I am making a motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Reiniger?
Yes.
Mr. Blanton?
Yes.
Mr. Robison?
Yes. I attended 2 meetings regarding our new Fire Station 69. We've had ongoing discussions and debate with DER, MSA, Bayer, and Becker, and our other township representatives regarding the water runoff on French Avenue that's immediately to the, I guess, east or south of the new fire station. I was very hopeful that we could get a change order presented today. Unfortunately, there's been a lot of back and forth, which I think is good because we're trying to do our due diligence, make sure that we're, again, spending taxpayers' money wisely on this. It is going to create a need for a change order and some additional funds from us, but it is necessary to fix some of this ongoing water issues, and we don't want ongoing damage, we don't want standing water, it needs to be done. So every one of our county reps, Mr. Hughes, Chief Lacy, Mark Rosenberger, again from Mayor Becker, everyone agrees that we need to do something. It's just a matter of exactly what we need to do. So I was pushing hard, but I'm hoping to have a change order for the board to consider next meeting.
Did the construction of the building cause the leak on French Avenue?
No, it's been going on for a long time.
How can you put that on to the request on the building? That's got nothing to do with the building.
We had a lot of discussions about that. I mean, Chief Lacy is a little more familiar with the history of it, but if it is not fixed, it's going to cause problems for us right now. And we have this brand new, beautiful facility, and if we have to delay this and take this out and push it out to go out for bids and do all this, rigmarole, the cost is going to go up exponentially. And we heard that from Mark Rosenberger at Mayor Becker, that we're probably looking at double or maybe even triple, the cost. And it's going to delay things to where it could damage our building in the meantime while we're trying to go through those steps. It is also, some of the issues with the construction could have been, wouldn't say the cause, but where am I trying? But worsened the water runoff, and so we've got a lot of opinions, a lot of discussion, and feel confident that it's appropriate to add this in, both for time and money reasons for the township. But
it's got
Chief
nothing to
or
do with the building, really,
Mr.
right?
Hughes or whatever else, if anybody else, or Mr. Reed, if anyone
Yeah,
else.
I'll say something about it. Yeah, we went from a 4,000 square foot building to a 14,000 square foot building. So obviously, we're gonna catch more rain from the roof and more runoff. So the building, when it was designed, the retention system went in, and the retention system has to tie into the French Avenue drain. The French Avenue drainage that's there is old. It's, some of the piping is actually clay piping, which is deteriorating. So yes, it's partially because of the construction of the building. We contacted Kevin Maloff, which is our attorney that handles that part of the construction process. We felt that it was an extension of the building, so we asked to do it as an extension of the construction. And that's why we're where we're at now, and why we're getting cost analysis from the architect and getting pricing from DER, who's already on site doing the construction now, rather than trying to go any other avenues.
Is it gonna be expensive enough, or we should have went out to bid? Is it, I heard numbers like 100,000, and I heard they can do it for 50,000. I just wonder what the difference is between the $100,000 job and the $50,000 job.
That's a good question. The answer to that is that if you were to repair all of French Avenue, or the biggest portion of French Avenue, you're looking at around the $100,000 mark. If we're just taking care of the property under the construction, you're looking at more of a $60,000 mark. So that's been the debate going back and forth, is what do we actually need to do at this time? Do we need to look at, in the future, taking care of some of the other issues? So right now, to protect the asset that we just built, we're looking at the $60,000, more than the $60,000 project part of it.
Okay, so when is this decision supposed to be made?
Well, at this time, the latest communication was that DER would get back to us next week with the price estimates, pricing based on the recommendations that MSA and that Bayer and Becker have communicated. So, I think Phil from DER said that's where we're at.
Let me make this comment real quick. So on the price, Jack, on the 60 versus 100,000, this is just my take on it. I'm leaning more toward 100,000 because I would like to see it fixed and fixed right first time. So we don't have to go back in 5 years or 6 years or even 2 years and we're redoing this again. So that's just my take on it.
Sure, and it might be, we've talked, it might come in between, it might be a 75, it might be an 80, you know, I'm not sure where it is. We're scrutinizing it and doing our due diligence, we're talking to Joe and crew who's been on the scene every day of this entire project, to get input, as far as where the water's running. You know, you have those 100-year rains and those 200-year rains and those, you know, 20-year rains, and it's, but you're right, I mean, it's,
Just looks.
sure, absolutely. I also I had a meeting with Mr. Rosenberg, Mark Rosenberger, and his colleague John Cody from Bayer and Becker. Last meeting, I brought up an idea of potentially looking at a stage and or park out here, and Mr. Trustee Blanton brought up an idea of having a stage down at West Park for summer concerts. They are they're working on bringing some sort of a proposal to us, basically just to start the process, to, again, look at getting public input, and to get feedback and brainstorm on that. So I may have a proposal at our next meeting.
Who is this?
At Bayer and Becker.
Okay.
So that they would essentially incorporate your idea of down there. Current thinking is maybe a smaller stage up here for more family events like the movie night, you know, family night and things like that. Summer concerts down on the river, but that's, you know, again, we want to get some input. As everyone else, you know, thanks about the storm and the cleanup and the cooling center. At this time, Mr. Reed brought up earlier in his report the organizational chart, and I'm going to officially make a motion that we pass the organizational chart as was presented by our administrator. And I don't know if I should do the misconduct policies and together or separately, but I'm prepared to make a motion.
I think we need, on the organizational chart, I think we're waiting till after we had our executive session with the attorney. And then you can come back out and vote on it afterwards if he thinks it's all right. I think there's some questions on there that he's gonna have to answer.
Our attorney's gonna have to answer
Yeah.
on the organizational chart for our township?
Yeah. This here, I
Well, that's
recommend,
fine, we can,
I recommend that we wait until after we talk.
we'll come back on the.
The policy, go ahead and do, I mean, that's fine. On this
Go ahead and bring the
organization,
policy.
you can wait.
Okay, I will wait till after executive sessions for the organizational chart and make a motion that with the edit that was made as far as the level of discipline and what is brought before the board and what's handled at the administration level, that we pass the conduct or the policies that were proposed by our administrator.
You made that a motion?
Yes.
I'll second it. Cindy?
Yeah, hold on.
It's okay.
Yeah, Mr. Reiniger,
Yes,
Mr. Blanton,
Yes.
Mr. Robison.
Yes.
All right, anything else?
The only other thing is that I've been here for 5.5 months now, and I've had several people ask me, so how's it going? You're almost halfway through the first year of your first term. And I just wanted to point out that we lost 40 years of institutional knowledge and experience by Trustee Paul Beck. We lost 21 years by Margie Ober. We lost 20 years with Cindy Black and 16 years with Marcia Heath. That's just shy of 100 years of experience and knowledge that went out the door in a very short window of time. That could cripple a lot of organizations, and most would simply be in survival mode and trying to get by. But I just want to say that I'm damn proud of our team, that we're not just surviving, we're thriving, despite these challenges. We're meeting challenges and approaches and seeing them as opportunities. We hired an administrator, the first in our history, which I think is fantastic. We're going to restructure in a good way our township operation and bring it in line with other like-sized townships across the state. We're creating a personnel handbook, updating job descriptions, and improving policies to run this more like a business should be run. And we're filling these positions with talented leaders and staff who bring ideas on how we can improve our township and better serve our residents. We've improved public safety with our new firehouse. We've increased transparency. We've improved communication and community engagement. And we're hiring new leaders that will help us move us forward. And are we where we need to be? Not even close, but we're heading in the right direction, and I'm excited about that. In the next 6 months, I hope we can figure out the sheriff's contract. We'll continue to streamline our township operation and build a foundation so that we're successful long into the future. And while this was all accomplished in the last 5.5 months since I came on board, it's certainly not due to me, it's due to the hard work and dedication of our incredible staff, and I genuinely believe that, and I am, grateful for everything that everyone has done. So together we'll do great things, that's how I feel, and I hope our residents are as proud as I am of what we've been able to do. So I just wanted to share that because, sometimes you get caught up in the minutia, all the details, all the just day to day, and I thought back with some of the conversations I've had of how's it going in those 6 months, and I think we're doing really well and moving in a really good direction. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. I just have